Managed service providers deliver backup and disaster recovery by deploying a dedicated backup server in their own environment. From there, service providers can deliver these services through two common deployment models. In an MSP-hosted model, all client data is backed up directly to the service provider's backup server, allowing the service provider to provide disaster recovery from the same environment. In a client-hosted model, each client has their own on-site backup appliance. Their data is protected locally first, and then a second copy is replicated to the service provider for added resilience. In this video, we'll show how ActiveProtect simplifies daily operations for service providers and also demonstrate how service providers can deliver backup and disaster recovery services across different deployment models. You will find the timestamp of each section in the video description. A service provider's daily responsibilities include backup and restore operations, monitoring and reporting, as well as hardware and storage management. Let's start with backup and recovery. A major challenge for service providers is that every client environment comes with its own level of complexity. ActiveProtect addresses these challenges by offering native support for a wide variety of platforms. To deliver backup services, the first step is to design a backup strategy for clients. This includes setting the backup schedule, retention period, and copy settings, all of which can be configured in a protection plan. Service providers can create protection plans based on each client's SLA tier, such as bronze, silver, or gold. They can then apply the same plan across different workloads for that client, keeping backup strategies consistent and easy to manage. ActiveProtect also helps service providers keep up with changes in their clients' environments. When a client adds new workloads, Auto Backup automatically detects them and applies the appropriate protection plan. This requires no manual configuration. When a workload is removed, ActiveProtect automatically retires its backups and retains them according to the defined retention policy, then deletes them once they expire. This helps prevent SLA breaches and also minimizes the risk of storing data longer than necessary, especially after clients' employee departures. Disaster recovery services rely on routine testing. ActiveProtect offers automated DR tests that run after every backup. The system boots the backup using the built-in hypervisor to ensure it starts correctly and captures the entire boot sequence on video. When disaster recovery is required, ActiveProtect offers flexible P2V and V2V restore options to ensure maximum infrastructure agility, while further supporting cross-platform recovery. A workload running on VMware, for example, can be restored directly to a service provider's Hyper-V environment. This enables service providers to offer disaster recovery service using their current infrastructure, eliminating the need to maintain multiple hypervisors for compatibility and ensuring faster, more reliable recovery. Alongside DR services, service providers can offer self-service restore permissions, allowing clients to recover their own data and reducing ongoing support demands. Next is monitoring and reporting. ActiveProtect gives service providers a unified interface where they can monitor backup and restore statuses across all clients and perform related tasks, significantly streamlining multi-client operations. From backup activities, service providers can review activity logs across all clients for reporting and auditing. Verification records provide evidence of backup verification to demonstrate SLA compliance, while capacity used shows how much storage each client consumes for billing purposes. The Restore Activities page provides a complete view of all restore operations, including recovery drills that serve as documentation for SLA compliance. Client-initiated restores are also recorded and displayed, ensuring full transparency across the entire restore workflow. ActiveProtect gives service providers a unified interface where they can monitor backup and restore statuses across all clients and perform related tasks, significantly streamlining multi-client operations. Finally, we move on to hardware and storage management. ActiveProtect streamlines this to maintain backup server stability, which is essential for service provider operations. The backup appliance uses a pre-integrated hardware and storage design, allowing new units to be deployed and operational shortly. If a drive failure occurs, ActiveProtect automatically initiates hot spare recovery and rebuilds data without manual intervention. In the event of a power or network failure, built-in redundancy helps keep the system running and services available. When a replacement unit is needed, service providers can simply move the drives to the standby appliance to quickly bring the system back online and minimize downtime. As service providers onboard more clients, backup data continues to grow. ActiveProtect's tiering feature simplifies how service providers manage and scale their storage infrastructure. Define how long data should remain on the backup appliance. For example, a 30-day retention. After that period, older backups are automatically offloaded to lower-cost remote storage. This not only frees up capacity on the primary backup server, but also lowers the overall storage costs. Under the MSP-hosted model, clients are not required to deploy separate backup servers. All workloads can be backed up directly to the service provider's ActiveProtect appliance over the network. This centralized backup appliance also manages backup copies, sending them to remote storage to strengthen data protection. With centralized backups, service providers must be able to manage different clients independently. ActiveProtect delivers this flexibility for SaaS backups through its multi-tenant design, enabling service providers to clearly differentiate each client's data and settings within a unified interface. Now, let's walk through how service providers can use ActiveProtect Manager to deliver backup services. In this scenario, all client data is backed up to a single centralized server, so protection plans are the primary way service providers manage different clients. Each time a new client is added, a dedicated protection plan is created to match that client's SLA, covering backup schedules, retention settings, and advanced protection options. Let's say a new client, Client A, is coming on board. Their SLA requires daily backups for Microsoft 365 accounts, so the first step is to create a dedicated protection plan for this client. Start by clicking Create Plan in the top right corner and choosing Microsoft 365. We'll first select the plan type. Here, we're using a mutable protection plan. And then we'll give the plan a name. Next, select the Microsoft 365 services you want to include in the backup. For this client, we'll keep backups for 30 days and enable daily backups. You can also set up backup copies here. If backup copies aren't needed right now, this step can be skipped. After reviewing the settings, click Create Plan to complete the setup. Once the protection plan is created, we can now apply it to workloads and begin backups. Head to the Cloud Applications page, where you can see all currently managed tenants. Thanks to ActiveProtect's multi-tenant design, managing backups for different clients from a single interface is straightforward. To add a new tenant, click Add in the top right corner and choose Microsoft 365. Next, enter the Microsoft 365 domain account to complete verification. Once the connection is established, you can review the tenant's basic information, enable self-service recovery, and apply a retirement plan. The retirement plan automatically takes effect when an employee leaves and their Microsoft 365 account is removed. ActiveProtect detects removed accounts, stops backups for those users, and automatically deletes the data after the defined retention period. Once the tenant is set up, we can start configuring backups for the client. Since client environments are constantly changing, for example, when new users are added, enabling auto backup helps ensure nothing is missed. The system automatically detects new accounts and applies protection as they appear. To set this up, click Add and choose the groups you want auto backup to monitor. You can select one group or multiple groups. Here, we'll use the sales group as an example. Search for sales, select the group for each service, and click Next. Apply the client's protection plan. And once that's done, click Backup to begin. With Auto Backup now in place and Auto Retire already configured, the entire data lifecycle is handled automatically. When new Microsoft 365 accounts are added, ActiveProtect detects them and begins protection right away. When accounts are removed, the retirement plan kicks in and automatically clears the data after the retention period. This means the service provider only needs to set things up once. After that, the system takes care of the rest, reducing manual work and making ongoing operations much easier. The restore process is just as straightforward. For example, if a client needs to retrieve a user's chat or email data, simply switch to the Exchange tab, select the user, open the Recovery portal, and choose the desired backup version. From there, users can browse past email records, open individual messages, download them as a PST file, or restore them directly. You can choose to restore the data back to the original mail folder or restore it to a new destination. Once confirmed, the restore process begins, and the data is available again shortly. To help reduce daily support requests, service providers can enable self-service recovery, giving clients the ability to restore data on their own. This makes recovery faster and reduces support workload. In this example, self-service recovery was enabled when Client A's Microsoft 365 tenant was added, so users under this tenant can access the self-service portal. Let's say an employee needs to recover files from OneDrive. They can simply open the self-service portal and sign in with their Microsoft 365 account. After signing in, they can browse their own backup data and restore the files they need. In addition to backup and recovery, ongoing monitoring and regular reports are key to building trust with clients. From the Backup Activities page, you can review backup history and backup activity details, which can be used for reporting, audits, and billing purposes. To export a report for billing a specific client over a selected period, choose a time range and filter for the client using the search bar. The system then shows the data size for each backup during that period. Simply click Export to download the report for further analysis. As client data continues to grow, it's important to keep an eye on available storage capacity. When storage space starts to run low, the system automatically sends alerts. To free up local storage, you can use tiering to move older backups to remote storage. Since a remote destination has already been configured, we can go straight to tiering plans and click Create Plan. After entering a name and description, choose the time zone for the tiering job. Then set the tiering rules, such as how many days data should stay locally, where older backups should be moved, and when the system checks each day for versions to tier. Here, we'll set tiering to move data after 7 days. After confirming the settings, the configuration is complete. This approach balances the benefits of both local and remote storage. Recent data stays on the local backup server for faster recovery, while older backups are automatically moved to remote storage. This not only supports long-term retention, but also frees up local storage so the backup server can continue scaling to support more clients. For clients with mission-critical systems that require faster backup and restore speeds, an ActiveProtect backup server can be deployed in their local environment. This provides improved performance and ensures isolation of local backup data. The service provider's backup server then stores a replicated copy, offering both on-prem and off-site protections. Although the backup appliances are deployed in different client environments, ActiveProtect's cluster architecture allows them to be unified into a single site. From one management console, service providers can manage monitoring, maintenance, updates, and configuration across all backup appliances without logging into each one individually. ActiveProtect also allows service providers to assign distinct permissions to each client, limiting access to only the backup appliances that belong to them. This approach reduces daily management workload for service providers while giving clients transparency into their backup status, strengthening overall trust. Next, let's take a look at how service providers deliver backup and disaster recovery services in this scenario. Before starting any backups, there are a few preparation steps to go through, including management setup and environment configuration. In this scenario, backup appliances are deployed at each client's environment to handle primary backups. On the service provider side, a separate backup appliance is used to store backup copies and also serves as the management server, bringing all client devices into a single site for centralized management. When backup appliances are part of the same site, certain resources can be shared. This means the service provider doesn't have to recreate the same settings for every client. These configurations can be set up once and applied across multiple clients, simplifying overall management. One of the most important shared resources is the protection plan. Instead of creating separate plans for every client, we recommend preparing a set of protection plans in advance based on different SLA tiers. Here, we're using a common 3-tier model: Gold for the highest level of protection, Silver for mid-tier requirements, and Bronze for basic protection. With this approach, no matter how many clients you support, you simply apply the appropriate plan based on the client's SLA rather than creating a new plan each time. This makes managing large numbers of clients much easier. Since disaster recovery services are also provided in this scenario, we'll first add the hypervisor located at the service provider's DR site to the ActiveProtect site. We've already completed this step ahead of time. Once added, the hypervisor is treated as a shared resource. This means all clients within the site can use the same DR site hypervisor as a recovery target whenever needed. With the preparation steps complete, we can now begin onboarding clients. Let's assume a new client, Client A, is joining the site. The first step is to add their backup appliance. Go to Infrastructure, Backup Servers. Click Add. Select Next. And the system will generate a connect key. Enter this key on the client's backup appliance to complete the setup. Back in the management console, Client A's server now appears as part of the site. After the server is added, backups can be set up immediately using the protection plans we've already prepared. Here, we'll take virtual machines as an example. Let's add a hypervisor for Client A. Open the Hypervisors page and click Add. Enter the connection information and connect to the hypervisor. Once the connection is verified, click Next. You can also apply a retirement plan at this step. This allows the system to automatically detect removed virtual machines and clean up their backup data after a set period of time. After reviewing the settings, click Done. Then select Go to Virtual Machines to begin backups. Start by selecting the backup method. Auto Backup is recommended, as it automatically detects new virtual machines added to the client's hypervisor and ensures they're protected without manual effort. This helps prevent missed backups as the environment changes. Next, choose the rule used to automatically protect virtual machines and proceed to the next step. Select Client A's protection plan. Review the settings and click Done to begin backups. You'll see the virtual machines start backing up, with backup copies also replicated to the service provider server. This view allows you to monitor backup jobs across all clients or filter by backup server to check the status of a specific client. Clients often want visibility into their own backups so they can quickly check system status and confirm their data is protected. This also helps build trust by reducing uncertainty. Here's how access can be delegated to a client. In this example, Client A would like to log in and view their own backup information. Go to User Management and click Add to create an account. We've already completed this step. Next, open Delegation. Click Delegate Permissions. Enable Delegate Permission and choose Partial Access. Select the services to grant access to and restrict access to Client A's server only. Once saved, Client A can sign in with their account and view backup jobs for their server. Back in the service provider's management console, let's say Client B's office experiences an earthquake that damages their equipment and disrupts operations. To minimize downtime, the service provider needs to initiate disaster recovery immediately. Select the virtual machine running the client's critical systems, open the recovery portal, choose the appropriate backup version, and select Restore to Virtual Machine. Next, select the data source. In this case, the service provider can restore directly from the backup copy stored on their backup server. Because this is a disaster recovery scenario where time is critical, we'll choose Instant Restore to bring the system back online as quickly as possible. Next, choose Restore to a new location. Continue to the next step and choose the hypervisor at the service provider's DR site as the restore destination. ActiveProtect supports cross-hypervisor restores, which means workloads can be restored even if the client and DR environments use different platforms. Once the settings are confirmed, click Done, and the virtual machine will begin restoring right away. During the restore process, you can click View to monitor progress. When the status shows Ready to Migrate, the virtual machine is already mounted and running. At this point, you can connect to the machine and verify that the system and applications are running normally. Since Instant Restore runs virtual machines directly from mounted backup data, performance may be lower than in a full production environment. After the emergency has passed, you can migrate the restored virtual machine back to the client's production environment to restore full performance and stability. Finally, if a client no longer requires service, they can be removed from the site through the management interface. Navigate to Infrastructure, Backup Servers. Select Client B's server and click Remove. The client's data stays on their own device, while the service provider's system automatically removes all related data. There's no need to clean up workloads one by one. This simplifies the offboarding process and allows client management to remain efficient and well-organized. To learn more about how ActiveProtect secures your data, be sure to check out our other videos.